Even though this is a small structure, it's still important to level up the horizontal and verticals with your level. It's very important to lay slabs on a sound base. This will minimize any chance of movement. Here we've used broken concrete roof tiles as hardcore. Spread your dry slab laying mix over the hardcore. Refer to the fact file at the end of the tape for quantities. The mix needs to be at least 60 millimeters deep. Level this out with a bricklaying trowel and rake a few channels with the point of the trowel. This will make leveling up easier. Now it's time to lay your first slab. Always keep your back straight and bend at the knees when lifting heavy objects. Lay the slab gently so as not to disturb the bed. Tamp down the slab. In this instance, we've used the shaft of a lump hammer. Note the fall of the slab from left to right. If you're laying a patio, the fall should always be away from the house. Here, we've achieved an average fall, being about 15 millimeters over 600 millimeters. Lay the spirit level onto the slab and tamp down the side you wish the fall to run until the bubble sits about halfway on the line, instead of falling in between the lines. This must be consistent with all the slabs to achieve the same fall. Check that the slab is stable on its bed. If there's any movement on its diagonals, tamp more of the mix under the relevant corner or corners, then recheck. Now that you've a starting point, continue to lay the slabs from your first slab. As you lay your other slabs, ensure the edges butt up to each other to maintain squareness. However, it must be pointed out that this is only the case when the slabs being used have a straight edge. Some slabs have a riven, uneven face and need a gap of some 10 to 15 millimeters between each other when laid. If you decide to use these, after laying them, brush the same dry mix into the joints. This will harden from the moisture in the sand. Once your first row of slabs are down, start the second row. If you transfer over your levels with the spirit level, there'll be no need to work out the fall on each slab again. They'll all transfer over. Due to the size and weight of concrete fencing posts and concrete gravel boards, you may find it easier to enlist the help of a friend with this project. Begin by laying your concrete posts flat. Space them out by cutting a piece of timber to the same width as the fence panels being used. Lay all of your posts on the ground, spacing them with the same piece of timber. Now begin to dig your holes for the posts. These should be a minimum of 450 millimeters. Remember, when purchasing your concrete posts, they should be a minimum of 600 millimeters longer than the measurement of the fence panel and gravel board added together. For example, in this demonstration, the fence panel is 1500 millimeters. The gravel board is 300 millimeters. Therefore, the concrete post being used is 2400 millimeters. Now lower your first concrete post into the hole. Whilst it's being held upright, shovel the concrete mix, refer to the fact file at the end of the tape, around the base of the post. Tamp this down with a firm object. Here we've used timber. Now check the verticals with your spirit level. Run a length of string from the finishing point to the first concrete post. Adjust this to a height of approximately 300 millimeters from the ground. Then double check that there's enough height on the post to accommodate the fence panel. The string will act as a horizontal guide for the top of each gravel board. Now position your first gravel board. Make sure it's inserted into the slot on the post. Now position the fence panel on top of the gravel board, making sure this is into the vertical slot on the post. Now, temporarily lower the string to the ground to enable easier maneuverability of the second post. Insert this into the second hole, driving the slot well onto the gravel board and fence panel. Check your verticals, and the post can now be concrete it in as with the first post. Repeat this process for as many boards and panels as you have to erect. Always make sure that the fence panels and gravel boards are tight between each post. Start by cutting several lengths of timber stakes. Fix them together with a hammer and nails. The two uprights must be spaced as wide as your footing needs to be. Measure the distance from where your footing needs to start. Find the center point and mark this with a nail. At the other end of your footing, mark out exactly the same. Now, run a length of string from one nail to the other. This strung line is now exactly parallel to the fence at the rear. With a spade, mark out about 150 millimeters either side of the string. Now dig this out to a depth of about 300 millimeters. Fill the trench with a concrete mix. Refer to the end of the tape for quantities. Level out with a spade. Then check with a spirit level. Getting the footing as level as possible will help you when you come to lay your first course of bricks. Leave the concrete for 24 hours before attempting to lay your bricks.